the Tank Reefer here, another video on the Red Sea Reefer 250. I wanted to start this video by saying a big thank you to everyone who watched last week's video, everyone who subscribed to the channel, everyone that commented, liked. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. I will be uploading weekly. Hopefully I should be doing, maybe I'll do the odd video in the week. I do have a few things that I wanna post up on here. I am regularly posting on my Instagram page, as most of you do know. But yeah, this week's video is going to be about the corals in the tank, what corals I keep, the placement, the flow, feeding regimes. Yeah, I'm going to break it down into, I think, four different videos. We'll start with the Euphyllia, then we'll move on to possibly SPS, LPS, and then we'll go on to the softies and the zoas. So I've got the lights down on blue, so it's nice and blue in there, although you can't really tell how blue it is. I think it looks quite nice in this video. So we'll crack on and we'll get a bit closer to the tank. So this is where I keep all of my torches. I've got a few in there. I've got Indo torches and Australian torches. These two torches here I had in my 170. I've had them for probably about maybe about a year now. Both started with one head. I got this one, actually this one I got about a year ago, and this one maybe 9 months ago, maybe, no, it must have been about 10 months ago. Both started at one head. This gold here is now up to, I think, about 10 heads on the main colony there, and I did frag 2 heads that I've now got in the nano. The Holy Grail torch here, again, I got with one head. I had it, as I say, about 10, maybe 11 months. I can't really remember when I purchased them, but yeah, that one's now up to, I think it's 4 fully separated heads, and then those separated heads are splitting. So I think I'm up to about 7 or 8 heads on that. But I do notice with the Indonesian torches, they grow so much faster than the Aussie torches. The Aussie torch, which one? This one, well, this one's the Dragon Soul, but behind it I've had that atomic torch for maybe 6-7 months. Bought it as one head. It is still one head. It's only just starting to split. So the Indonesian torches do split a lot faster and do grow a lot faster than the Aussie torches. But yeah, I mean, I prefer the Indonesian torches anyway. I mean, you can see that the pollens are so much longer than the Aussie torches. They flow better in the tank. They seem to give the tank a lot more, I don't know, movement in there, I suppose. But yeah, you can probably notice here that I've extended the shelf in front of the Holy Grail there, only because, I don't know if you remember in last week's video, but it keeps stinging the gonny over here, and it's really doing my head in. So I've put this extra shelf in this morning. I'm just waiting for it to dry fully. And what I'll do is I'll nip that off there and I'll put it a bit forward. I'm hoping it will give me a bit more depth in there as well. I will just spin the camera around to the side angle so you can see it a bit better. So yeah, you can see here, this is where the Holy Grail is currently sitting, all the way back here, and I'm going to move it probably just to the end here to get it out of the way of that gonny and to stop it stinging, because I'm having to get my hand in there every day and get that off there, mainly in the morning when the sweeper tentacles are out. It's really stinging that gonny, and I like that gonny, so I'm definitely going to move that forward today. Let's focus on this. Where are we? Here. So here we've got the Dragon Soul torch. I've not long purchased that, probably about a month ago I got that one. I was after one for ages. I've been honestly after one since I had my 170, so about a year and a half. And with the Indo ban, they were extortionately priced. I mean, they're not cheap. I mean, I think I paid, I don't know what I paid for it, but they got up to about almost 400 quid for a single head of Dragon Soul, and I couldn't bring myself to pay it just for a single head of torch. Generally, I pick up my torches. I mean, this one here I bought from a shop, but a lot of them I pick up from Reefer's Facebook. I mean, you don't sell on Facebook, but obviously you get to know people through the reefing community, and everyone's always got something that they want to sell, or they've got something spare. So it's always great to make new friends in the hobby pick up new things. So yeah. So with regards to feeding these corals, I don't feed the corals directly. I used to feed, well, I'm going to start feeding these corals directly again, mainly the Holy Grail, because I'm losing the green out of it. And I realised when I started feeding, what did I start feeding? Reeferoids, I don't know, probably about a weekly basis, and I noticed the green was coming out a hell of a lot more. When my tank was running low nutrients, 0 nitrate and 0 phosphate, it sort of washed out. It was still gold, but it lost a lot of the green. And when I started feeding the Reeferoids, it coloured up a hell of a lot better, and it looked a lot better than it does now. I mean, it does look fantastic now, but it's got more potential in it. So yeah, I don't directly feed the corals at the moment. I feed Reef Energy, so Red Sea Reef Energy AB+, nightly. I do it just before the lights go out. Probably, I mean, the lights go out at, I think it's 10:30. It's 10 or 10:30. I generally feed it at about 9:30, between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. So the feeders, the corals are smaller, the feeders are out, and I feel that works for me, and I've got good success with coloration and growth by doing that. So that's the torch garden. I do have down here, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to move it without ruining the lighting, but here, there we go, this here. I'm not 100% sure what this is. It's like a frog spawn, it's like an octopus spawn, but it's neither. I think I did get it from my local shop. And it wasn't a cheap coral, but it is a beautiful coral. I mean, it's got the gold tips on it, it's got the green stem. I'm leaning more towards a frog spawn, but I do have a frog spawn in there, an Indonesian frog spawn, and it is, I mean, I suppose it's going to be different because it's from two different parts of the ocean, two different oceans. So it's definitely going to be different, but that coral there I absolutely love. What I'm going to do in this video as well, to let you know, is obviously I'll talk you through what corals, what Euphyllia I've got in there, and I'm going to do a bit of a montage at the end, just with some nice close-ups of the corals that I do have. So yeah, do stick around for the end of the video because I will be posting that. I'd do a nice close-up on the torch, the atomic torch, but it seems I fed the tank about half an hour ago. Well, I fed the fish about half an hour ago, so it looks like it's munching on some fish food. I'm going to scooch it over to the hammer garden. The hammer garden's nowhere near as nice as the torch garden, but that is a work in progress. So I mean, this tank's always growing, so I'm always adding new corals. It's a bit hard at the moment, obviously, with the situation as it is. No one's posting, which is good. I'm not posting corals myself. I do frag a lot of zoas, and usually I'd be knocking them out and posting them, but I'm on a strict no posting at the moment. Everyone's going through hard times, so it's not the best time to do it. I don't want to stress out the mail service doing it, so yeah, there's no need. So buying corals at the moment is a bit of an issue, but I've got loads to do with the tank, so yeah, I'm just definitely making do with what I've got. So I did say in that last segment that I was going to move on to the hammer garden, but while I was editing the video I actually realised that I'd missed one of my favourite corals in the tank, which is this Indonesian yellow-tipped octospawn. My clowns do sometimes like to host this coral. They'll probably do that on video. Here he goes. But yeah, it's actually one of my favourite corals in the tank. It is a bit hidden at the minute. I'm probably going to move it up a bit. It sits probably in line with the gold torches, and because the gold torch is so big and it sits behind it, you can't really see it, and I can't move it anywhere else due to being stung or getting stung or stinging anything else. So yeah, what I might do eventually is move it up so it sits a bit higher, but as it stands at the moment, I've got my Jabo pump literally sitting just above it there, and it pulses the coral nicely, and it seems to be really happy where it is. That, and I've got a piece of plating Monty that I've finally got stuck to the wall after about 3 months of growing. It's finally stuck to the wall, so I might move it up, but it depends on how I can do it. I might just chuck a rock below it and move it up that little bit, and then move the pump up, and hopefully all is well. So yeah, this is the Indonesian octospawn. I picked it up from the same bloke that I got the Indonesian gold torch from. When I got it, he'd had a few issues with his tank, and he was a bit reluctant to sell it to me. but he did give me a good price on it because he went on a holiday and the temperature controller he had running on his tank wasn't actually showing the correct temperature in his tank. So when he got back, he sorted the temperature out, and I think it was about a 2-degree difference. So the fast change in the difference really it got the coral sulking. So when I got it, it was a bit green, but over the past 4 or 5 months, it's really come into its own, and it's got a lot more yellow in the tips. So yeah, now what I'll do is I'll go over to the hammer garden, and you can check out the hammer garden. As you can see, it's not as colourful as the torch garden I've got, but this is the hammer garden. I've had to really lower the lights on this shot because it's right in front and I'm getting a lot of reflection from behind me, so sorry if it's a bit dark, but you kind of get the idea. I've got a walling hammer over here, branching Aussie hammer here, and then I've got the Indonesian branching hammer here. This thing grows crazy. I mean, it's not the best looking coral in there, but it's a nice coral all the same. I've had that for ages. I mean, maybe 2 years I've had that coral. Maybe, yeah, about 2 years I've had that. And it came from I think 2 or 3 single heads, and I got it up to, I think, 12 or 15 heads. Then I trimmed it right back down to 6 heads. And now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe 14 heads on there. So that thing grows nuts. So yeah, this is the hammer garden. It is a work in progress. I've got a lot of stuff in front of it, but it still needs a lot of work. Given it's the centre of the tank, I should do more with it. But I do have some nice other corals on there. I've got some blastos, some zoas. My rock flower and enemies sit there, and I've got the rainbow on it. But they'll come in a later video anyway. So yeah, there's one coral in here that nobody knows that I've got because it's so hidden behind the back of the rockscape. It's a coral that I had in my old tank, my original tank. It's probably one of the first corals I've got. It's a bubble coral, and it's so big and it stings so much that I've had to chuck it at the back ever since I've had this tank, which is a bit of a shame because it's a really nice coral. But I'll pop over and show you that now, and you'll see what I mean with the size of it. So I tried to pop over, but I can't get the angle. Hang on, let me just actually take this off here, and you will be able to see the bubble coral there, right at the back. It literally sits. You can see it there through the arch. Let me focus. Let me refocus. You can just see it where that wrasse is there. But yeah, it is too big to be having at the front. I've literally got no room. Unfortunately, I mean, I should really move all these frags off the bottom there, but I mean, I could probably, actually thinking about it, I could probably have it in that arch, sitting on there, but I'm not sure if it will get enough light. It is pretty shaded in there, even with the T5s. I mean, you can see, let me move it down, you can see the light. It is low light. So I might actually try and move that over there today and see how it looks, see how it fares. But it does get massive, and I'm running the risk of it stinging everything. It used to sting my old corals in my old 170. Hence I didn't really put it up front in this tank. And then the problem with it is, I mean, it looks great in the flesh, but making it look great on a picture, it really doesn't, because it's a pink sort of colour. There it is. Let me try and get some more light on it. You can't really tell, but yeah, you get the gist. The last of my, there we are. So the last of my hammers is this one here, this gold hammer here. I'm going to stop the video, put it on a tripod, and we'll talk about this. I'll probably set it up here. Okay. So this is the last of the Euphyllia in the tank. It's an Aussie gold hammer. Got it about 3 months ago. It's doing really well in the tank. I originally had it over by the other hammer garden, but I wanted to sort of mix that up with a bit more colour. So I moved it over to the Zoa garden, right at the back. Hence the picture's not that great. I've had to zoom right into the back of the tank to get the picture. It's in moderate flow. It's certainly not high flow. It's between low and moderate flow, but it seems to be doing really, really well where it is. It has started to split here. Where is my finger? There it is. So you can just see it splitting there. It's started to pinch, and it won't be long before that is 2 heads. We've got some little babies coming off here, some little branches coming off there. There's a few of them knocking around. So yeah, that is the Euphyllia in the tank. Like I say, what I'm going to do at the end of this video is do a little montage. I'm finding, I said I wasn't going to edit these videos very well, and I'm, to be honest, not editing these videos very well. It's just basically stop and start, stop and start. But I am finding if I'm doing taking a few videos throughout the week, what I can do is put them in and do a nice, do some nice videos at the end. Saves me editing at the weekend. I mean, it's Friday now. It's Bank Holiday Friday today, so I've got enough time on my hands to get this one done nicely. So yeah, with regards to flow, like this one's in, as I say, low to moderate flow. The hammers, let me move this over, in the middle, very low flow, barely any movement within them. And then the torches, let me zoom back out a little bit. You can see there's a bit more flow going on there. So the dryers run over the top of those, and I've got the J-bow right at the back here, pushing the water across the top of them. So they're really happy where they are. So the Holy Grail is probably the lowest in the flow there, but that seems to be really happy where it is. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video today. It's a bit more edited than I said I was going to do, but as I say, I've got a bit more time on my hands. So yeah, please do like, please do subscribe, do pop over to my Instagram channel. There's a lot more pictures of the tank in there. And yeah, have a great weekend, guys. Thank you.